So, today's video is about another little adventure with FlixBus. One that will set us back by 1 hour, 2.5 hours, even 3 hours. Why? You'll find out as the video goes on. This video is supported by Fahad Travel, your luxury travel advisor. More about that later. It's mid-August and we're in Los Angeles. After a few wonderful days, it's time to leave the coast behind and cross the desert on our way to Las Vegas. And of course, I had to take this opportunity and booked us FlixBus tickets. So off we go to Los Angeles Union Station, or more precisely, the bus terminal in front of the building. Right on time at 10:10 a.m., about 10 minutes before our departure, our bus shows up. Today we are traveling on a dark red FlixBus. Boarding is a bit chaotic because one passenger is loudly complaining that the staff won't handle her suitcase and that she has to load it herself. You know, that classic VIP service you get on long distance bus services, right? After a few minutes, Karen calms down and at 10:20 we leave right on time. The plan is to first head east to San Bernardino, then north with a stop in Barstow, then cross the state border to Nevada and finally arrive in Las Vegas around 3 p.m. We grabbed a 4-seat table, which we are sharing with another passenger. I'm actually surprised by how comfortable the seats are, really nice. Unlike our last FlixBus trip in the US on the East Coast. There's plenty of leg room and even a power socket in the middle of the table. Of course, it doesn't work, but there's another surprise. The bus actually has Wi-Fi, a real rarity on our FlixBus trips. You only get 300 megabytes, but it's enough to kill some time. After about 1 hour we reach our first stop, San Bernardino. They announced that nobody is allowed to leave the bus, even though we were supposed to have a 10-minute stop. But that's when the trouble starts. The engine keeps trying to start, revs up and dies. Again and again. After about 15 minutes standing still, we start moving again. But not for long. We make it just around the corner and then stop at the roadside again. Same process all over again. Engine on, rev up, off. Engine on, rev up, off. We are just waiting, wondering if we will even get going again. And the bus dies again.
So, jetzt geht wieder an. Was? Auch.
The drivers are back at the engine. No clue what's happening. Something is definitely broken. Both drivers are on their phones, running back and forth between the engine and the side service panels, trying to figure out what to do. Time passes. We've now been stuck here for a full hour and nothing is happening. Engine on, engine off. And after more than 1 hour without air conditioning, it's starting to get really uncomfortable inside. Almost 30 degrees Celsius outside, probably even much hotter in here. Then finally, one of the drivers makes an announcement. They've called for a replacement bus and a mechanic. Both are on their way. Because it's going to take a while, they open the doors and tell us we have about 45 minutes to stretch our legs and cool off at the nearby stores. There's a McDonald's, a Starbucks and a gas station. Perfect chance for an early lunch. So, off to McDonald's. It feels like they've set the AC to Greenland mode. Maybe 14 or 15 degrees Celsius in here. You definitely don't want to stay very long. So we quickly head back to our bus. Alright, that was a nice little break at McDonald's. At least we have a nice view. The bus dearly has some kind of battery or computer problem. It just keeps shutting off. At least we are stranded here in San Bernardino and not somewhere out on the highway in the middle of the desert. It's 29 degrees Celsius here. But the closer we get to Las Vegas, the hotter it will get. It's 38 degrees Celsius in Vegas today. So, on this trip we can now say we've done Los Angeles, San Bernardino and maybe, hopefully, Las Vegas. I feel bad for the people who boarded here. They've only made it like 30 meters so far. A quick chat with one of the drivers reveals that the bus has a software problem. Apparently, the onboard computer doesn't recognize the battery anymore. Eventually, a mechanic shows up in a pickup truck and starts working on the engine. So, we've now been stuck in San Bernardino for 2.5 hours. The mechanic is here, the bus has been running for about 10 minutes, but the drivers are hanging out somewhere under the trees. And the mechanic does too. I have no idea what's going on. There's still no sign of the replacement bus. We are past the 3-hour mark now. The engine has been running again for about half an hour, but with the doors open the AC can't work. And it's probably over 40 degrees Celsius inside the bus. It's 32 degrees out here according to Apple weather, but there's a bit of a breeze. So you can sit inside for maybe 15 minutes and then you have to go back outside to cool down a bit again. But we got no information, no clue when or if we'll move again. The replacement bus was supposed to be here an hour ago, it's not. Just the mechanic who isn't really doing anything anymore, at least not visible. This is all eating into our Vegas time, and I'm just glad I didn't book anything for tonight. I almost booked a show or a seat in that big sphere thing. Glad I didn't. While taking another cooling off walk, I overheard a conversation between the driver and the mechanic. They ask how far we still have to go and how long it will take. When the driver says Vegas, the mechanic hesitates and goes, yeah, you might make it. Very reassuring, especially considering that there's nothing but desert between here and Vegas. Roughly 3 hours after our planned departure time, our dark red FlixBus finally gets moving again. They do a quick head count to make sure everybody is on the bus again and will not be left outside for 34 degrees Celsius heat. The problem seems fixed. We're expected to arrive in Vegas about 2.5 hours late. The 30-minute stop in Barstow will be skipped. Which is a shame because Barstow is a special place, especially if you like trains. But oh well, what can you do? The AC is blasting again, and after about 15 minutes you can finally enjoy the view without sweating to death. But the bus still doesn't seem 100% healthy. It struggles hard on uphill stretches. Dozens of semi-trucks are passing us. Please don't break down out here. I'm trying not to think about another breakdown and just enjoy the stunning scenery. Let's talk about the price. I booked the tickets about 2 months in advance directly through FlixBus and paid around €60 per person, including seat reservations. Not exactly cheap. A flight from LA to Vegas with checked luggage would have cost about the same. But would I have seen this scenery from a plane? No way. Would I have been faster? Absolutely. But this little adventure was totally worth it. Even if we were unlucky with the breakdown. That's definitely not the norm. At least I hope so. We are now approaching Barstow, the last stop in California. And as announced, we won't be taking a break here. Just a quick stop for people to get on and off the bus. Why does that make me sad? Because this truck stop is partly built out of old train cars. Some of them are McDonald's dining rooms. And right next to it runs the tracks, where the mile-long freight trains of the US slowly roll by. I would have loved to see one of those giants up close, but oh well. Let's talk about today's video sponsor, Fahad Travel, a truly special guy who makes your trip as comfortable as possible with his unique VIP service. Fahad is an independent luxury travel advisor with access to a worldwide network of high-end hotels. But what does that actually do for you? Fahad can get you true VIP treatment at the hotel without you needing any status at all. That can include early check-in, late check-out, a VIP airport shuttle, free room upgrades, $100 hotel credit for food and drinks, and much more. Check out my video about the Andaz West Hollywood. Fahad worked his magic here. And I will explain everything in the video description. And don't worry about your money. You don't pay Fahad directly. He makes the booking for you and sends you a direct payment link from the hotel's system. I definitely will be using Fahad's services more in the future. There's really no easier or more comfortable way to travel. And you should give it a try too. Go check out Fahad Travel or send him a WhatsApp and say hi from Renee. As many of you probably know, FlixBus entered the US market a few years ago. After a short startup phase, the Munich-based company bought the legendary Greyhound company. So theoretically, you can cross the entire United States continent from east to west or north to south on one ticket. This, for example, from east to west takes about 4 days and will set you off for 250 euros. That's an idea I keep thinking about. From New York through Texas all the way to Los Angeles. Maybe I'll do it one day. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me suffer like that. Because if I think about my overnight ride from Germany to Paris, I know what I'd be in for. But times 8. Curiosity versus common sense. A constant battle in my mind. But in the near future, there will be an even better way between California and Las Vegas. Brightline West and Siemens Mobility have been building a high-speed rail line between Rancho Cucamonga and Las Vegas since April 2024. The plan? A fully electric high-speed train line along the Interstate 15. It's set to open in late 2028 and will cover the 280 miles in just about 2 hours. Siemens Mobility will use the Velaro Novo, which has been tested on the ICE test trains in Germany for years. So basically, the US will get the new ICE before we even do, because the ICE 5 project has been put on hold in Germany. It's similar to what happened with Alstom on the US East Coast. Their new TGV, the Arcella Next Gen, launched there before it even ran with passengers in France. Back to our FlixBus. The ride continues throughout the Mojave Desert and the bus keeps holding on. Yes, the roads in the US aren't really great, the bus is constantly shaking. And my iPad keeps on sliding across the table. And yes, it still struggles on every hill. But hey, that's just me nitpicking. All in all, this ride was another highlight on my love-hate relationship with the big green buses. Despite the long breakdown, my excitement slowly comes back. As we get closer to Vegas, we are leaving behind the endless empty deserts and more hotels and casinos start popping up. With about 2.5 hours delay, the first iconic hotels appear, the ones we have all seen before. Yes, we made it. We are in Vegas, baby. The bus stops on a side street near the Strip, close to the Treasure Island Hotel. And as we step out, it's like running into a wall. We swapped LA's cloudy 20 degrees Celsius weather for dry desert sunshine at 38 degrees. Amazing. If you want to see how our 2 days in Las Vegas went, or how we dealt with an airport Karen at American Airlines who asked what my plan was instead of just helping us, then make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. Don't forget to check out Fahad Travel for your next vacation, and most of all, have an amazing time. See you next time, your Renee.